Hello, this is Contracts Livid over here, and I'm going to begin the brand new rewrite of episode 7. So, on a desert planet, a young girl of 7 years is left by her family after they arrive aboard a scrappy looking ship. The girl only knows her mother, and she's the one that takes her off of the ship and gives her to a greedy looking alien that works in the scrapyards of Jakku. The landing craft lands between two ships, one being a Star Destroyer and the other an MC-80 Star Cruiser built by the Mon Calamaris. But the people of the planet don't really care about this fact. They are too busy scrapping both ships in order to build a little shanty town off to the side in which Rey will reside for her youth. From there on, we will move on to a completely different scene. Away from Rey and her being hidden in the outer reaches of the known galaxy of Star Wars. We will move on to a young Finn that is currently battling roughly between the ages of 6, 7, maybe even 8, slightly older, and he will be battling against fellow young candidates for the First Order, specifically the Red Trooper program, which focuses on mixing ordinary troopers with those that are capable of using the Force. So Finn will be partially Force sensitive, and that will earn him the right to be a Red Trooper. Not a full-on Sith, but still quite a large margin above the regular First Order troops. So he will be fighting against the ordinary troopers, and he might in fact even be shown beating some of the older trainees as well, to show how competent he is and how emotional he can be at times, maybe even lashing out. So from there he will be praised and maybe even awarded something by none other than Captain Phasma, which can almost act like his mother in a way with their relationship. From then on, the next shot will be of a young Kylo Ren being left behind next to a Luke Skywalker, and by Han Solo and Leia as well. This will be the complete setup for the story, and then from there we can go slightly into the future, maybe like 18 years or something like that. Maybe not that much, because Rey is kind of like 7 years old, so maybe like I don't know, like 12 years, 13 years, something like that. And so, roughly the same age that Luke really started his journey. That's the whole thing that I'm going for here. And yeah, she will begin her story walking through the streets of the Jakku slums. She will be walking towards a building that has domed top that looks really similar to a Star Destroyer's antenna. In there, she will find her friend and I guess parent, almost, the person who has taken care of her for all these years, Unkar. In all of his overweight glory, Unkar will greet her and then ask her to help him with some of the more delicate scrap metal while he works on a droid. Rey will obviously oblige, and she'll begin working on the scraps, trying to fix some small electronic devices or something like that from the Imperial era that have been scavenged on the massive graveyards of Jakku, which compose of starships and landing craft like AT-ATs from the last remnants of the Empire's stand against the now known as the New Republic. So, from the ashes of the old, Jakku basically makes a living in the Outer Rim by scavenging all these old parts, and even some rebellion scraps as well, because the rebels most definitely would have left some ships behind, although unlike the Empire, who had to flee, the rebels would most definitely have did quite a good job cleaning up after themselves in order to find all the dead and give them a proper entombment. So from here, the droid that Unkar was working on will actually be set off by him, fat fingering the droid, because Unkar is not really like a flexible person, which is why Rey comes in so handy for him, because she likes tinkering and she's also a human. So Unkar can't really do that well with the droid's mechanics, so he accidentally sets off this droid's mechanic, and it's a Viper probe droid that he was actually working on, and this will actually send off an emergency signal before Unkar can actually hit the droid hard enough in order to shoot it down again. This signal will be picked up by a First Order scout ship, maybe some sort of light cruiser or something that's really similar to the Imperial's light cruisers, but more modified with heavier armament and maybe a more heavily focused frontal armor, rather than just having the armor be spread all around the ship. While this is happening, a brand new Finn in his Red Trooper armor will be sent off on a fetch quest to secure the Viper probe droid, and try to find out if he has any data logs regarding the battle that happened over Jakku, in order to hopefully understand the New Republic's battle strategies and get some in-depth information, maybe even get some plans and spy on Jakku a little bit, and to find out how to better bring it into the First Order's fold. At the exact same time as the message from the droid is sent, Rey will have a Force vision where she will see fear, anger, and great sadness. She will see red and a cross sign in her vision. Then she sees a burning temple, followers stabbed in the back with something, their clothes and their bodies looking as though they were heavily charred by something very hot, burnt through their clothes and their bodies in a cylindrical shape. The whole thing over here is that this entire vision is supposed to show that the First Order has begun moving. Kylo Ren has finally decided to betray Luke Skywalker all these years later, after he was taught by him. So while it's like the middle of the day on Jakku, it can be nighttime for Luke Skywalker and his Jedi Temple, which is when he gets betrayed by Kylo Ren and a few, of his closest friends that decided to betray Luke Skywalker alongside Kylo Ren. There can be great sadness. This could be felt by some of the more Force-sensitive characters like Leia, if she were here. But I don't know, because the actress is basically gone, we can canonically have that Leia no longer, that Leia also died. But maybe we could have some of the Force-sensitive characters, maybe somebody like Ahsoka Tano if she's still alive. And then from here, the story of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, will begin with a great tragedy and a great betrayal. The First Order will receive the old Viper droid's report, and then they will send a Finn over onto Jakku in order to find the Viper droid, secure it, and also spy on Jakku. Here Finn will come across Rey, and in an unfortunate accident, Unkar will die to Finn's stray shots. Finn will come in an elite unit of Red First Order troopers. He will have high-tech equipment. He basically, every single shot will cause massive explosions within the shop. Rey will be able to escape through some small passageway that only she has knowledge of, because she's a human and can't really move about the place all too well because he's so big. So after Unkar dies and Rey escapes, Finn will basically chase after Rey through the shops, which will actually cause him to be discovered by the Jakku gangs and other interests that are trying to basically run the place without the New Republic's oversight. Even though the New Republic is kind of in charge of Jakku, it has mainly left the planet to its own devices. Here, the First Order will basically be found out initially by the New Republic, and that will force the First Order to actually send an entire fleet down to blockade the planet and to start gaining control of the planet. This will obviously cause the New Republic to find out about it through a spy network relating to Han Solo and Chewbacca, which still have good ties within the smuggling rings on the Outer Rim, and that's where they will get this information smuggled through the Jakku blockade and given to Han Solo, and he will pass it on to the New Republic, like secret agencies, and they will obviously send some ships to try to fight off the First Order. Here, Rey will be in hiding until Han Solo can make it with Chewbacca and help some relief efforts before the First Order goes crazy and they start glassing the entire planet, because they realise that now the New Republic knows about them, and now the planet is basically contested. They're going to decide to cut their losses and they're going to glass the planet. So a few civilian ships escape alongside Rey on Han Solo's ship with Chewbacca and maybe a few other civilians that were lucky enough, but the planet is basically glassed for the large majority of it. Maybe we can have some civilian centres survive because they had planetary shields or something like that from the scrap tech that they were able to gain from the destroyed Imperial and Republic ships. From here on, Rey will basically be homeless. Unkar is gone, and her entire home has been destroyed on Jakku. So she will have nowhere else to go, so she will basically join the New Republic, and she will fight for them against the First Order. And under the recommendations of Han Solo, and with some guidance from him, she will be able to fly brand new variant of the X-Wing. Something similar to the Republic, but slightly different, which is what we saw in the films. So if we can get that, that'll be really nice. And there will be a big space battle over a planet. I don't have any idea what it is, but I would like for this planet to be slightly more contrasting, so maybe like a jungle planet. So yeah, a jungle planet with a lot of water, which will be contrasting to Jakku. And here Rey can show her skills by shooting down a couple First Order TIE fighters before she herself gets shot down, as to make a crash landing atop the planet. Let's name the planet Zoa. Yeah, Let's name the planet Zorro. So on this planet Zorro, she will make a crash landing where she will basically be rescued by some New Republic troops, and she will basically have to join them in their assault on a base that the First Order has deployed on the planet. Because now the New Republic is going out of their way to fight the First Order after the Jakku incident. Because they've known about them, but they haven't decided on what to do. And now that the First Order has decided to show their hand, the New Republic is counteracting them. So this entire assault is on a brand new base that the First Order has made, and Rey will basically be joining them as another foot trooper with a blaster pistol. Here she'll meet Finn again. And after his previous massive failure, Finn has been demoted to like an ordinary trooper. He's not completely kicked out, which shows that, the First Order isn't completely incompetent. But he is on the edge, and maybe we can have like a scene with him and Captain Phasma where she says that she's really disappointed in him. Like the only person that he has really kept constant with him while he was growing up in the earlier scenes, we can have her say that she's really disappointed with him and actually demote him to an ordinary First Order trooper, maybe like a captain, something like that. So he's not completely gone from his specialized training. He can still lead a group, but he's not as influential as he used to be, and he thinks that it's a shame for him. Here we can have Rey take him down again with blaster shots, but this is where the First Order decides to counterattack, and they bring in a lot of heavy armaments, a lot of their brand new Star Destroyers that are a lot more heavily armoured rather than the light cruisers that the First Order has deployed around the base. So here we can have some really large ships coming and a lot more TIE fighters. As well as this, we're going to have a brand new TIE fighter appear, something special with 4 wings, kind of like an X-Wing, but a darker version, and instead of having the foils, we can have something a lot more resembling the TIE fighter's plates come out. And this will be a ship for Kylo Ren. Here, Kylo Ren will arrive on the planet, and this will force the entire New Republic troops to have to retreat. Because Kylo Ren, with his red troopers that have now shown up on the base to protect it, will go absolutely crazy on everyone in the base. And yeah, their aiming is superior to the New Republic's troopers. They're enhanced, they have force sensitivity, and also, they can shrug off a lot more wounds because they're force sensitive. And they can, apart from dodging shots, they can also move themselves in a way that forces shots to graze them because they have a type of precognition. This will obviously force the New Republic to retreat from their positions, where Rey will be rescued once more by Han Solo and Chewbacca as they come down and help with the rescue efforts once more. As Kylo Ren slowly pushes the New Republic troops back to their landing crafts that they used, or space shuttles that they used to land on the planet, and force them back into high orbit before they have to get back into their larger ships, which the transport ships came from, and basically have to warp out of there. This is where Finn, which is kind of like was a captain leader and was supposed to be kind of in charge of this base, will be heavily punished by Kylo Ren for his failure, where he will lose an arm in Kylo Ren's rage. So instead of Kylo Ren bashing on a console and then screaming at people, he will actually commit evil acts here, and he will actually be like a really bad person. So kind of like Darth Vader's entrance in episode 4, where he straight up just chokes some of the rebel soldiers. So we're going to have something similar over here with Kylo Ren, where he attacks his own troops for incompetence and for failing him. From here on, we will have basically Rey be recommended. Rey will talk to Han Solo about some of the things that she feels and about her force powers, but she doesn't know that they're force powers, so she will say, I feel as though I can predict what my enemies will do. I feel as though there is something beyond our realm, and I can feel everyone around me, and that's how she can shoot behind corners and hit stormtroopers and First Order troopers, I guess. From here on, Han Solo will recommend her to Luke Skywalker, who she will visit, and he will be really against training her, but she says that she has no home. She tells him her sad story, and how, even the only person that might have, somewhat cared for her, Unkar, has died, and she has nowhere left. The New Republic is now on the run, and she wants to help this new home that she has found the best way she can. She wants to help Han Solo and Chewbacca, and she wants to fight against the First Order that took her home. So from here on, Luke will agree to help Rey learn about her force powers, and he will begin her training. And instead of, unlike how she trained from episodes 8 to 9, this time she will actually go through training where she will fail and there will be cuts. But yeah, for the episode 7 ending, we will have her be shown doing some basic Jedi training, so like blindfolds and a small droid with repulsors moving around her and shooting lasers, and she has to block them with a training yellow lightsaber. So that's what we're gonna have. And then on the other side of the galaxy, we're gonna shortcut back to Finn, who has been demoted to an auxiliary role, where he quite literally sits in front of like a desk with like a really terrible robotic arm, something that you would expect Luke Skywalker to, make when he's desperate, or Anakin Skywalker to make when he's desperate. Not the best bionics by far. Something that closes and opens, but he has no feelings in it. It's a weird three-clawed contraption, and it's not ideal. And he's just logging people entering and exiting like a training or a shooting range within a Star Destroyer. After he was once again demoted, and this time when he walks up to Captain Phasma, she just straight up ignores him. She doesn't even talk to him, and he has been completely left by his family. And now the only people left around him also make fun of him, like the ordinary First Order troopers as well. They make fun of him because he's now in an auxiliary role, and they're just kind of making fun of the person with the robotic arm. And that really upsets him. And this is the end of episode 7. So leave your comments down below what you think about this story so far. I would love to make episode 8 and 9 as well, detailing how they will go, and then maybe go back to episode 7 and, as I've said, make a really detailed story about this. Maybe even upload it onto Royal Road, or maybe upload it onto Scribble Hub or some other website for novels, I guess. And then I can also make like audiobook readings of the story. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.